Guys, it's Will back once again for some UFC predictions. We're here for UFC Mexico City. Yair Rodríguez against Jeremy Stephens, and this is going to be a quick picks one because, yeah, I don't want to spend too much of your time watching or listening to me talk about this card because it's honestly not a great card at all. I just want to say a massive thank you. A lot of people really reached out last week regarding the family situation with my brother and so on. So I just want to say a massive, massive thank you to everybody that sent the well wishes my way. I really do appreciate it. And I want to say thank you to I think it was like 30 new subscribers. I really, really do appreciate that. So if you can, like, comment, leave a comment in the drop down box. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and just introduce yourself to the channel and get speaking with other guys on here as well. So yeah, I'm going to get into this and I'm going to get through this card relatively quickly. I'm going to be a little bit like a machine gun with this one because I don't really want to spend too much of my time talking about it. So we're going to start down in I don't know what division we're in. What division are we in? Lightweight division. We've got Claudio Perez against Marcus Mariano. I don't think Marcus Mariano deserves to be in the UFC. There's all this talk that Anderson Silva got him in, which could be the case, but he showed in his UFC debut that the guy is not good at all. Very, very limited. A special off his back, got taken down, got submitted relatively quick. Puelez is a guy that still, I think he's young. He's only like 23 years old, I want to say, so he's not that old. Fights from the southpaw stance. Got that win via knee bar where, to be fair, Felipe Silva was whooping that guy's ass like really badly, and then he pulled a knee bar out his backside. I remember betting Felipe Silva and thinking, what the just happened there? I just lost that bet. So yeah, but I'm not picking Marcus Mariano in a UFC fight, so I'm going to pick Claudio Puelez to win, maybe via submission. I think if he gets it to the ground, he could very much find a submission. So I'm going to pick Puelez to win that one there. Sijara Eubanks against Bethe Correira. I've got Sijara Eubanks. The only big thing that kind of worries me, the fact is that it's in Mexico. It's in elevation. She has gassed in the past. That was at 125. At 135, she's shown that she can bang. She's got some big power. She did that against Aspen Lad. She's been down there. She's acclimatised herself to the elevation. I think she's going to be there for close to 4 weeks. So sorry guys, close to 4 weeks. So that's enough time to probably get fully committed to the elevation down there. And Bethe here, she's old, she's slow, she's got no power, she's got no real advantages in my opinion in this fight here. I don't think she'll be in the UFC after this fight. I think Sijara Eubanks can stop her. So I've got Sijara Eubanks via TKO in the mid part of this fight. Vinicius Moreira against Paul Craig. This is an interesting fight because both are ground fighters. Moreira showed that he's got no chin, cannot take shots. He got absolutely bodied by Eric Anders. He got smashed by Alonzo Menefield. Paul Craig obviously hasn't got that type of power to come out there and completely blitz him. I think knowing Paul a little bit, I think he's going to want to try and get the fight to the ground, which might work against him because that's where Moreira wants to get this fight. But I think Paul Craig has enough with his jiu-jitsu to maybe stay out of the dangerous positions of Moreira and get into positions where he can hurt him and maybe get a submission, but maybe get some TKO strikes off here, some elbows or anything at all. But I've got a funny feeling if it stays on the feet, it's going to be super sloppy. I would give the edge to Paul Craig, even though that's not really saying much because, like I say, both guys' striking is not good. Both are grapplers, like the jiu-jitsu. I'm going to go Paul Craig. What I've seen out of Moreira is just ridiculously bad, but it was against big, powerful strikers, and Paul Craig isn't that, so this might be a matchup more suited to him. Picking Scotland, Paul Craig here. Would it surprise me if we lost? No, but I would rather pick him than pick Moreira there, so I've got him in that one. Sergio Pettis against Tyson Nam. I think this is at flyweight. I prefer to see Sergio back down at flyweight. I think this is where he should always be. I think he's undersized at 135. I still think he can make a run up that division at 125 and be a top guy for many years. Tyson Nam's been a guy who's been around for the longest time. I remember back in the day when he knocked out Eduardo Dantas. I think at the time he was the Bellator champion. Way back he knocked him out in the first round there. and he's lost a lot of fights. He's kind of got himself rejuvenated, and he's fought over in Russia a few times, knocked out Ali Bagatinov with a nice head kick. I can see this one being potentially close. I think Tyson Nam's got a bit of a chip in his shoulder from the interviews that I've seen. He's ready to go, wants to really get his name out there. Got himself a kind of showcase fight against Pettis, who's a kind of good name for your lower weight classes, especially at flyweight. But I've got Pettis just to beat him very, very slightly. I don't think there's much between them, but I think Pettis is the more technical striker, and he can use that technical striking to win over the 15 minutes. So I've got Pettis via decision. Ariane Carnelossi against Angela Hill's up next. Wow. Jesus. I don't want to pick Angela Hill in the UFC fight. I think she's not great at all. This new girl that's coming in is not overly good at all either. She's going to want to crowd the pocket, get in there, throw some heavy strikes. She says she's a Muay Thai fighter, but she shows very little of that. She just kind of swings bombs. And I mean, Angela Hill's old now. She's like 34, 35, my age, old ass. And I've never been overly impressed with her. The only thing that she might have an advantage here, she's fought in Mexico. She knows what it's like to fight in other conditions of the elevation. She's been down in Mexico for a good 3-4 weeks. Yeah, I think what she wants to do is she wants to fight at distance. She doesn't want to fight up close, because I think Carnelossi has more power, but I think that Angela Hill can definitely pick her apart from the outside, but she might start to fade as the fight goes on. I don't want to pick Angela Hill in the UFC fight, even though it's against a relatively unknown newcomer, so I'm going to take a shot on Carnelossi to come through there and win that fight, probably via decision, maybe even a TKO, but I've got Carnelossi to win that one there. Polo Reyes against Kyle Nelson next. I mean, what a horrible fight. It's supposedly at featherweight, so Polo Reyes is coming back after getting knocked silly last time out. Now he's dropping a weight division. That's never a good sign. Never, ever, ever, ever a good sign. Then you've got Kyle Nelson, who I don't think is UFC caliber. I thought he had a decent chance in that fight with Sales, but outside of the opportunity where he nearly got the choke, I thought he was outmatched. And then the Ferreira one, Ferreira's just a beast anyway. I don't think he's got a hell of a lot of a gas tank. He's getting into Mexico really late. You've got Reyes, who's obviously from Mexico, but this weight cut's kind of scary. Coin flip fight, could go either way. I can see someone getting knocked out, finished here. I'm going to go with Polo Reyes. I've seen a few people, I should say, on Kyle Nelson. I don't see it at all, really. I don't think he's all that great. Polo's not either, but at least Polo's won UFC fights, and he's been fighting in Mexico, and he knows what that elevation's like, and both guys are fighting for their job here, so who knows. But when he usually lands something big, he usually gets a big bonus behind it, so I'm going to go Polo Reyes, knockout, maybe late first round in that one there. Teco Quinonez against Carla, how can I say this? Huachin up next. I thought he showed some heart in his UFC debut, did Huachin, against Ione Barcelos, but Barcelos is just a beast. Eventually, once he got to the ground, he showed his levels above. Quinonez, these are the type of fighters he should be beaten relatively comfortably. But yeah, he's got, when he went up and faced like a Nathaniel Wood, who's a really good prospect, blue chip prospect coming through, he got really kind of exposed and got exposed on the ground. I see him winning not fairly clearly. I think it has the chance to be really kind of close, but I do like him to kind of mix up a little bit more, get takedowns, because I think that is a deficiency in Carlos's game. But Teco might not be the kind of smartest fighter to maybe expose something like that. So, but I am going to go with it, and with this one here. I think he wins via a fairly unanimous decision. But yeah, I'll go with him that one there. Martin Bravo's against Steven Peterson. Ocho Peterson up next. I mean, I've bet on Steven Peterson a few times. What I do like about him is he never quits, he never gives up, and he will keep going to the bitter end. And that's something I like about the kid. Not overly, the guy eats a lot of shots, he walks into a lot of shots. His kind of fight IQ's a little bit iffy for me, but he never quits and he never gives up on himself. Martin Bravo, I think both guys are coming off losses to Bruce Leroy. Yeah, low caliber fight, pick 'em fight. I seen the betting odds up in the top left hand side there. I'd rather go with Steven Peterson, who I think is going to really go for it over the 15 minutes and keep going no matter where he is in the world, what elevation, whatever it is. With the camp he's got behind him, they're on a roll at the minute. Not that it's going to help him in the fight, but when you've got a coach like Saif Saud who really lets you know that what to do in the fight and tries to help you through the fight, I think this is going to be enough, and he's going to win via decision. I think he's going to get some takedowns. I see Bravo maybe getting some takedowns. I think it's going to be close, but I see Peterson having the kind of more exchanges on the ground, the more top control, and just winning the decision through that. Irene Aldana against Vanessa Melo. Was looking forward to this fight when it was Mariano and Renault. I thought it was a very competitive fight. I don't really see it being overly competitive that much now. I think that Aldana's line, I don't know what her line is right now, but she's like minus 470. Yeah, minus 470. Yeesh, I wouldn't bet that. But I think this is a very, very, very winnable matchup for her, where she can use her box and get back in the win column after that loss to Raquel Pennington, where I thought she gave a good account of herself just at Rockies. She's tough to fight. She really is. She's fought for a belt. She's fought the best in the division, and Aldana just wasn't ready to make that step up into the bigger kind of echelons of that division. But that might come in due time, but I think she's going to blast through this girl who, when I watched her, I wasn't overly impressed with. So I've got Irene Aldana via TKO for that fight there. This is a good fight. Now the part where the good fights are taking place. Brandon Moreno against Askarov, who's making his UFC debut. Brandon Moreno's coming back to the UFC after beating the LFA champion. I think it was Mikael Perez, like a Cuban wrestler. That was a really good finish. Surprised that the UFC let him go, but I love the fact that the UFC are bringing in a good flyweight, and Askarov is a guy that I've watched, I want to say, for the last couple of years. He's not really fought all that much in the last 18 months, but the guy's got a great record, all finishes. The guys that he's faced have got like a record of 95 and 24, so he's beat really solid opposition. You'll go out there, you can see his twister submission that he pulled off. I think it was Anthony Leone, that he caught that off. So he's been fighting really, really, really good guys out there in Russia, and he's got Brandon Moreno come back, who's always scrappy, who's never really out of fights. He will fight till the bitter end. He's fighting at home. That's a big thing for him. I've seen that Askarov's been in Russia longer than what Moreno has for this camp. He's been well and truly out of there for a good long time. So I see this being close. I think there's a little bit of merit to Brandon Moreno, but my gut feeling when I heard of this was like, yeah, I like Askarov in this spot. He can go hard, he can finish via strikes, he can knock you out, he can submit you. But Moreno is very, very scrappy, and he's fighting at home, and there's something to be said for that. If it gets close, he may get the nod. I'm going to go with Askarov to win that one there and win via a very, very close 29-28 decision. Moving on to your co-main event, Carla Esparza against Alexa Grasso. I like Alexa Grasso in this spot. I think initially it might start off to be close. I think that Esparza might get a couple of takedowns early in the first round, but I think once the fight starts to mature a little bit, I think that Grasso's going to stop these takedowns, and I think her striking is better. I think she's faster, she's crisper, she throws more combination striking, she uses her leg kicks well, and I was super impressed with her fight against Karolina Kowalkiewicz, where I bet her as an underdog. I think she was an underdog actually, and she came through for me there. I love her striking. I think when she puts all together, I think when she came into the UFC, she never really showed her kind of Invicta skill, or Invicta level of kind of fighting. What she did in Invicta, she was fantastic there. But in the UFC, she's been kind of slow to get it started. But I like what I've seen with the Kowalkiewicz fight, and I think this is going to continue here. Like I said, I think the fight could start off a little iffy for her, but I think she's going to come through, and I think she's going to win pretty convincingly. I've seen some people talk about the Joanna and Jacek fight, where what happens if she can't get her takedowns, then she's going to get pieced up a little bit, and I know her striking's improved a little by little, but yeah, I've got Grasso to win via maybe a late TKO, more than likely a 29-28 or maybe even a 30-27 in there, so I've got Grasso. And the main event of the night, Yair El Pantera Rodríguez against Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens. Great fight. I think this is a fight I'm looking forward to. Jeremy Stevens has been down in Mexico since August 1st, so he's well and truly acclimatised himself to Mexican elevation. He took his alliance team down there, and they did work down there. And then you've got Rodríguez. I've been flip-flopping in this pick. Initial gut feeling when I heard about this was Rodríguez. The last week, I've kind of moved over to Jeremy Stevens. literally within the last probably 5-6 hours, I've probably moved back over to Yair Rodríguez. I think what's putting me off with Yair is the fact that he got manhandled by Frankie Edgar and like beat up really badly. That was only one fight before the Korean Zombie fight. 2, he was losing the Korean Zombie fight before pulling out the Hail Mary of all Hail Mary knockouts with that elbow. One of the greatest knockouts we're ever going to see, but he was losing that fight. I did think he looked improved in that fight. I thought his shot selection was better. I thought his toughness was better. Yeah, I liked what I seen from him in that fight, even though he was going to lose that fight. I bet him in that fight, and he came through obviously with a buzzer beater knockout. With Stevens, he's fought the who's who of the division. Your Zabits, your Aldos, your Edgars, you name it, Moicanos. He's fought the best guys there. And I think this is going to be a tough fight for Yair. I really do. Stevens has got that vicious striking, big knockout power, big leg kicks. But I think that Yair Rodríguez can really work the octagon well, frustrate him, use those kicks. Like I say, it's going to be, majority of this fight's going to be standing up. Maybe Rodríguez might try and take it to the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with my initial gut feeling. That was Yair Rodríguez. I'm going to stick with Yair Rodríguez. But it could have the potential to be very close and be a bit of a bruising encounter over 25 minutes, which might go in the side of Jeremy Stephens, but I like Yair Rodríguez for the win there. So that's my fight picks for UFC Mexico City. We're back next week for UFC Copenhagen. Again, thank you for all the love and support regarding my family situation last week. I really do appreciate it. Thanks to all the new subs. And until next week, guys, all the very best. I'm going to be doing this poster challenge soon, so keep an eye out for that if you want to win some UFC posters. All the best. I'll see you all very soon. Peace.